So you just listened to the story When a Line Bends, a Shape Begins by Rhonda Green. And it talked about a line has to actually bend for a shape to begin. So it starts off straight and it tells what all the lines can be, and you can see all of them. And then you watch the shape start to bend into a circle. So until it connects, it is not a shape. And that is what a shape is. It has a line around the edge. When that line connects, then it makes a shape. Like if you go, okay, you've made a circle with your fingers. It's not a circle if it's doing this. It has to connect to become a circle. The shapes all different ways, and you can see how they can be used differently. It's kind of like it's telling a secret story, and you've got to decode what's going on by reading the poem or the story and then looking at what it could be. So we are going to be inspired by this story, and we're going to create a secret code picture. We're going to do a collage. So collage means that we are going to take paper and glue it onto another piece of paper. We have a sheet, okay? It has two sides. And what you're going to do is you're going to look through this sheet and you're going to find things that are you, okay? Things about you or things you like. So if I'm looking through here, yes, has an E in their name. I do have an E in my name. So then I would go through the construction paper that will be on the table, and I'm going to cut 2 green circles, and they're going to overlap when I put them down. So I'm going to cut out 2 green circles. I'm just going to do the best I can. I'm not going to worry about it being perfect. I'm just going to worry about getting my circles cut. And my circles are not going to be the same size because I like variety, that principle of design variety. It is not perfect, but it does what it needs to do. So I would go through and read these. If it's something that is me or about me, then I would definitely put that in there. So I've gone through most of these, and ooh, look, it says has a dog. I do have a doggy, so I'm going to cut a heart. It might be a small heart, it might be a big heart. You can see I'm folding my paper in half because I know that's the easiest way to cut a heart. So now I've got my heart cut out, and I just put all of these shapes in a area of my table for me. So it says, oh, I love PE, so I am definitely going to have a rectangle. So it says long, thin, white rectangle. Trash may not be trash. So we don't want to crumble it up or squish it up. We just want to put it back in the pile in the middle of the table. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to get more of these cut, and then we'll talk about how to put it together. Now that I've gotten all of my shapes cut out, I'm ready to start arranging them. So I've got to make a plan. I can't just rush in and stick them down just anywhere. I have to make sure that it looks good. So I move my shapes off of the paper, and I'm going to slowly kind of work out a plan for how I want them to look. It takes a little while, but it is well worth it in the end. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to rearrange them. I have to remember that sometimes I have to be careful. I don't want to cover up one shape too much because then people can't tell. Like right now, it could be a semicircle or it could be a circle. So I have to move my purple circle where it can be seen and people can figure out what it is. Just like the long rectangle, I got to make sure it's going to get placed so we can figure out what the shapes still are even if they're not there. So I'm going to play with this, figure out where I'm going to put the items. once I have gotten it the way that I like it, then I'm going to get a glue stick, take the top off, you're going to twist it up just a little bit, and you're going to start gluing things down. You have to go nice and slow because you can't glue something that's on the top down first, because then you can't get the thing on the bottom glued down. So I have to start very slowly and steadily moving things. Notice I didn't just wipe everything off the paper. I'm going to slowly and steadily glue this stuff down, making sure I put the glue all the way to the edges, taking my time, making sure that it sticks down all the way. So again, I'm going to take my time, get everything glued all the way down, and not rushing through. We want to make sure our paper is filled very, very nicely. We do not want a big space where there's nothing, like all the shapes piled up on one side. That's not going to work very, very well. Ooh, I think I made a mistake, which is okay if that happens. Like, I'm not going to stick this down right away because I realized that my semicircle has to be put down first. So again, it's really about concentrating on what you're doing. This is not a time to socialize. That means you don't need to be having a conversation when you're trying to put your composition, that means all your shapes, down on the paper. So I'm going to continue gluing mine on, and you will be ready to put yours together. Oh, something I missed on the intro, which you should already know the answer to this. You need to put your name and class code on the back of your paper, and make sure that you did that. The paper is gray, our pencil's gray, so you're going to write with a marker on the back of your paper. That's what you're going to do. The thin markers over on the round table is what you're going to do. Don't forget name, class code on the back.